Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review
Check out our picks.
for season 6.
Bum.
Bomb. Alright. That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. We are here once again, Christmas in July, to talk about Dragon. This might be the shortest thing we've ever covered on Christmas in July. I believe it is, right?
I mean, I think Garfield's like 7 minutes, so yeah, this is
Yeah,
probably the
Garfield.
shortest
Yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. All right, so we are talking about "Twas the Dark Night Before Christmas," aka the Christmas special from the guys who brought you the memorable "Hi, I'm a Marvel and I'm a DC" series of sketches on YouTube.
Yes, it's just some random guy being the names of that being that proprietor's name.
Yeah, yeah. So, Dragon, anything you want to say about this? I will say, this is a great pick. I love the moral. It's got some. I don't really think it tries too hard with the rhyming, but I think that's kind of to its benefit. Like it aims for good writing more than it aims to just rhyme everything perfectly. And I think this was a really good pick. I love the ending beat we have on it. It almost kind of brings a tear to my eye, Dragon. So anything else you want to say about it, or do you want to just dive right
I just
into
want to
it?
give quickly. I want to give some context. I'm sure it's like out of left field for a lot of people. I know the Jaime Marvel Jaime DC did get some traction, particularly in the days of the Dark Knight, because the idea, Teak, is that that thing was all over the place, and even John Favreau and a lot of the Marvel guys, they actually saw those videos. They
Oh,
really loved them. They got like I believe they heard from the grave like John Favreau gave them a quote that they put on their YouTube page, something like that. So it's just some random guy. I highly recommend his work. He's kind of come back after a long hiatus. He does live stuff now. He did like a bunch of live commentaries. He's doing new videos, which are good. The only difference, and unfortunately, this one fell victim to it, in the years since his return, YouTube has kind of updated how they the quality of the video, which means the old ones. Which again, I do highly recommend people check out all the old stuff, all the old videos and everything. Check out all the videos on It's Just Some Random Guy. Unfortunately, the quality it's stuck in the old resolution, which means they're kind of tiny into the corner, which means you're gonna have to full screen it or like do the you basically
oh,
get as
that
big as you
sucks.
can, and it's unfortunate. I don't think it's something that
Yeah.
can be quite be fixed. But again, folks, look, it kind of speaks to what I can say. The best thing I can say, but it's just some random guy as a whole. Don't go for it for the eye-catching quality. Go for it for the context of story and the voice work, man. It's just some random guy does really funny, well written, just really good stuff that's true to the character. Authenticity being the operative word. This is so true to who Batman is in some Batman stories, specifically the Christmas Batman stories. What we're talking about here today. And the idea is that he did like the videos, which basically comparing the movies of the characters and the hype for like Iron Man versus the Dark Knight for like
Right, right.
2007, 2008. And you have like Spider-Man 3 going up against Superman Returns. That was like 2007, and then they had like a little bit of a they have these events. These events are
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
broken up.
Superman Returns was 2005.
Well, I know.
Spider-Man 3 was a couple of years. Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry.
aware.
You're just okay. My bad. My bad.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like not all of them are in the same year. But there's like kind of going
Okay,
up
I'm
against
sorry.
them.
I'm sorry. Gotcha.
Ordinarily, though, like after that point, that's when they started having like, and then the competition really started 2008 onward.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, the
Okay.
point being, like, did these events like this after hours, which is kind of set at the superhero bar, which is called Stan's Place, which is a not Stan Lee is a character within the show
Mhm.
who runs the bar where the heroes hang out and they do the little I'm a Marvel, I'm a DC thing at. Then they have like, and basically this holiday thing, and did some bumpers for like promos for New York Comic Con and San Diego and well, New York and Chicago Comic Cons. And this is like one of the things they did in between the big seasons of their big events. Like Happy Hour was after this, and it's all bar themed. Get it?
Yeah. 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 Sure.
This was 2007. This thing is way back when 2007. All right, I think we're all caught up to speed. Hopefully, we'll provide a link to the video in this after we're done here. So, always
Yeah.
we'll have a link in there so people can check it out. So, anyway, okay, let's just dive right into it. Okay, so it was the Dark Knight before Christmas.
Okay. So we start with Alfred narrating. I first of all, I love the choice to have Alfred in a robe throughout this thing. I don't know why. It just makes it more homely.
It is, and again, you hit like as much as I love it's just some random guy, and basically the idea is they use a lot of Barbie furniture and a lot of Barbie kind of accessories within their work with actual action figures for your heroes and for your properties.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
And basically, it's I think Alfred's robe. And I love the fact that he's in a robe, but yeah, it's maybe is it the best looking robe? Well, maybe not. But again, you work with
I
what you
don't.
have.
Again, Dragon, like you just said, you don't really come to these videos for like the best looking stuff. You come because I just like the idea of Alfred in a robe.
It's like they're just so quaint, and the elbow grease and the authenticity is there. It just doesn't matter, whether it's a
Right, right.
little tiny frame rate now, or the fact that maybe all the props aren't necessarily fitting the action figure. Who cares? The story's there. Like that's Alfred. That's Batman. That's what I
Mhm.
care about. It's like that's who it feels. It's written and it sounds like those characters. It's just some random guy doing all the voices for the characters. By the way, all the male characters are this one voice actor.
Okay,
He does give lessons too, by the way. Anyway,
nice.
so so Alfred's basically the gist of the whole thing is Alfred's doing "Twas a Night Before Christmas" with Batman. That's the gist of it.
I'm sorry, I'm randomly getting into a sneezing fit, so please excuse the audio, but go ahead.
Anyway, so the point being, it's "Twas a Night Before Christmas" with Batman. That's kind of the
Mm.
shtick of the whole thing. Okay, so let's see. So we see the exterior.
Master
Oh,
Bruce in his costume, and I in my robe.
yeah, we get a rare exterior shot, by the way, of Wayne Manor with we have a really great snow, like fog effect, with like all the kind of like the cotton and everything, making it look like fog. It looks really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
so
like how I like how Alfred. I'm sorry. I like how Batman's computer setup is basically just like a few like miniature laptops.
yeah, a bunch of laptops and foil for the monitor. It looks again
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
quaint. It's just really
uh,
quaint. It kind of takes you back to the Star Wars fan film era. People would make fan
it
films
does.
where
It totally does, man. That's a good pull.
that's the thing. I mean, it's just a random guy. Again, sometimes there's very little stop motion with this stuff. Usually, it's kind of like the Marwen. It's like the Welcome to Marwen style. We have kind of photography of action figures. Only this time
Uh,
it's a little bit
uh.
more kind of like theatrical, a little bit more cinematic. Let's say. All right, so not a sound could be heard, especially not laughter. So let's see. There's no stockings here. We have no tree filled with lights. We have, of course, we see the fireplace. Really got a nice looking fireplace. The grandfather clock and all the little details there. The grandfather clock that gets you into the Batcave. Not a single Christmas decoration in sight. The idea Batman's not crazy about the holidays, and it's late at night. Batman's working on Christmas. Alfred's in his robe. Let's see, he's up late looking for evils unknown. And Alfred, Alfred missed Christmas a great. I'm sorry, forgive me if I didn't do all of this in rhyme. Some of it might by happenstance be in rhyme. Just a little forewarning.
It's okay.
The point being, just this talk is to bring up though. It's really well. It's really well kind of tied into "Twas the Night Before Christmas." I think it's really well rhymed, I suppose, the whole thing.
I mean, like I
So
said, it is. But what I like about it is that they don't try and have like a strict rhyming structure throughout it. Like sentences can run a little longer. You know what I mean? Like they don't necessarily stick to a strict syllable by syllable on it. And I
yeah,
feel like that allows them more freedom.
it's like the old school rhyming where you had like lion rhyme with simile or simile. It doesn't really, anyway. All right, let me see. Okay, so Alfred. So the idea is Alfred missed Christmas, but Batman
Fucking
never has it.
Hunchback of Notre Dame rhyming Adonis with croissant is.
I love
All
that.
right,
No, in all
go ahead.
seriousness, Alfred, he's missed Christmas, but he just simply doesn't have. Batman simply doesn't have the time, and he's never had the time since. He's not had the time, not since the tender age of 9. We see the photo again. The photo tells all. Yes, it's a Barbie Ken looking Thomas and Martha Wayne. I
Right,
know,
right.
but
Hey,
still,
Ken has a
again,
mustache.
I know. That's to
You
me.
don't
All
usually see that.
much as I love Scott Snyder, I don't know why we're against giving Thomas Wayne the mustache these days. Unfortunately, Scott Snyder is going to tie it into
God.
that. Uh, the point being, the point being, it's because of Flashpoint. Because of the Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne didn't have a mustache.
Fair enough.
Anyway. Anyways, the point being, he has not since the tender age of 9. We see the photo of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Just it tells you everything you need to know. Okay, Batman doesn't celebrate Christmas because all his happy memories of Christmas were tied to his parents. And this is something you see in Batman stories around the holidays a lot. And again, I love these Batman stories around the holidays, and this kind of fits into that tradition of these stories, where many a time it'll be Batman just like he's never into the Christmas spirit because it's like Sometimes the murder happened around around December, like around like the holidays. Sometimes after Christmas, like we saw Batman Brave and the Bold, that like happened after Christmas. Sometimes they switch it up. Sometimes just you're like he thinks back to the last Christmas he had with the
Right.
Wayne family, or vice versa. Or it's like, oh man, and that very day after Christmas, boom, gun down.
Uh-huh.
So Batman does not like Christmas these days. So Alfred reminds Master Bruce that
He's just having like year after year, he's just sulking in his misery and dealing out fear.
precisely, and of course Batman would be our Scrooge, not a bad
Yes,
Scrooge.
yes, absolutely. No, not a bad Scrooge at all, but absolutely he is the Scrooge here for sure, no doubt.
Of course, Alfred kind of as our Jacob Marley slash kind of our narrator.
Oh,
Not Jacob Marley, sorry, Cratchit, Bob Cratchit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Alfred reminds Batman that Dick Grayson, Master Dick's holding a party with essentially with the Bat family. Tiki, just to show you how far back this was, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was. I forget if Damian Wayne was a thing at this point, because I think Damian Wayne was 2005, but I don't know. In fact,
Right,
we have like
right.
the point being, even if Damian Wayne was around, this is the point where Damian Wayne was really no one liked Damian Wayne when he's introduced. So the idea is like we're focusing on the good Bat family here. It's like there's Miss Gordon and Master Drake. So the Tim Drake, Robin, Dick Grayson, and Barbara, the three main players of the Bat family. They're around.
Uh,
And they're holding a little Christmas party, and they've invited Batman. Of course, Batman says he's outgrowing Christmas. You can go if you want, but I'm needed here. And of course, like Batman, I love that Batman. He doesn't want to ruin He doesn't want to ruin Alfred's holiday at all. Because he loves him that much. He doesn't want to ruin Alfred's holiday. By all means, go. Like, I'm fine here. Like take the night
sure,
off
sure.
by all means. But deep down, Alfred can't enjoy. Alfred knows Batman can't enjoy Christmas anymore. He knows he just Batman doesn't want to ruin the holidays. He can't enjoy the holidays, and he can't be part of it. Like he doesn't want to ruin the festivities for other people, but he can't be a part of that world anymore because he lost that part of himself years ago. Or so Alfred wishes him a Merry Christmas. He says good night. And it's just so sad. Like he's just just poor
It's
Alfred.
so sad.
And it is, poor, so sad.
Poor still photographed toy Alfred. It is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rag on it. It's quaint, Dragon. It's quaint.
It is very quaint is the perfect word. All right, so let's see. Also, we have it came from the 90s, and it came from the 90s.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, are you allergic to this one?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what happened.
I think you're allergic to photography. Anyway, so it came from the 90s in the comments saying, I love this video back in 2008, so we loved this way back when.
Hey, it's cool to honestly. It came from the '90s. It's cool to see someone else who's a fan of this because honestly, when we picked it, we weren't sure that anyone on the internet would remember it.
Oh yeah.
So
of course, I believe it came from the 90s as a fan of the Green Goblin. Of course, the Green Goblin had the Norman Osborn, Sam Raimi version of the Green Goblin featured prominently into these videos, so it makes sense. But anyway, so poor Alfred, he's he can't walk out on Batman when he needs him, and there's no point if he can't fully enjoy it by proxy of kind of a surrogate son figure. So Alfred goes to bed. He goes to bed, but then he's woken up. Tiki, what's he woken up by?
He's woken up by a clatter.
He ran to the window to see what was the matter, and then
I really like this rhyme. It was a man in a sleigh with 8 reindeer. No, 9.
And this is like the quaintness of it all right here, where it's so adorable. We hear the sound effect from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas, the Rankin Bass Rudolph
right.
short, and the special, and we hear like the ring of the like they're probably using like a laser pointer or something. Like no, I just love the little. This is the quaintness of like the little the stills, and of course like a little bit of like the illusion of animation here. We move it from like he's blocking his face with the light. There's like it's great. That's how you communicate the lighting. It's like it's the little things, people. So then Alfred he runs down to the Batcave, like goes to the grandfather clock to the Batcave. I'm sure Master Bruce would be in for a surprise, but basically the Fat Man would be in for a surprise. But he finds out, oh my God, the Fat Man's beat him there. He beat him there to the Batcave. He's just really fast as the Dickens. This Fat
and then we have my favorite set piece of this whole thing. Don't get me wrong, all the moral stuff is great, but I just love the idea, even if it's still photographs, Dragon. I love the idea of a fight between Batman and Santa. It's just, I love it.
See, what's so great about this is that we have kind of these two
Like
icons.
I feel like what I like about it. I'm sorry. I feel like it very much works Santa into the real world, like context and canon of the DC universe, and it's like, yeah, he's basically a metahuman.
In essence, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Brave and the Bold. I know the Brave and the Bold didn't go this route when they did their Christmas special, but the fact remains, it's kind of like the Brave and the Bold concept of you can legitimize any ridiculous Silver Age concept with Batman. Basically, where Batman will meet if Batman plays it straight, you can get away with anything. So
Sure,
long as
sure.
Batman is not out of character, you can get away with anything. That's kind of what we do here. Where okay, so he meets Santa Claus, and that's why I want to stress here. Again, it's kind of a cutesy. Okay, Batman meets Santa Claus. Like you've seen this one. Maybe there's like that one comic cover where Batman and Robin are helping out Santa Claus, and I'm sure it's like the
Oh
cover
yeah.
before. They're probably helping like at a department store Santa. But again,
I'd honestly be shocked if it never popped up on Robot Chicken at some point.
sure. Well, remember, there's like composite. There's composite Santa, which is half Santa and half snowman, which of course is based off composite Superman, which is half Superman, half
Oh
Batman.
God. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, the point being, again, you have these icons, and again, they're interacting as they would interact. Santa Claus is the big jolly figure who, again, is like, of course, Batman would be on the nice list for life, and of course, he'd be all pleasant and jolly towards Batman. And Batman would be like, "There's a stranger in the Batcave," and of course,
Yeah, Batman would be like, "Fuck this."
he thinks this is like a crazy, some crazy's got into the Batcave. We have the classic intruder in the Batcave thing. Of course, one of my favorite examples of intruder in the Batcave is from the animated series of Ra's al Ghul when he walked into the Batcave for the first time.
Sure.
And you have like you saying, "Who are you?" As Batman like demanded to know. "Who are you?" And it shook the man's belly, as he said, "Ho ho ho." So again, it's ridiculous. This is the to me this is the ridiculous moment of
Santa
truth.
Claus, Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, Saint Nick.
Yeah, and this is the ridiculous moment of truth of it all. Like, can you like if you can charm or legitimize this, now is the time, and they do. With the fact that Santa Claus, well, again, this is kind of where you get into a little bit of that Christmas Chronicles, like Kurt Russell Santa Claus of it all, right? And that's kind of what you're doing here. It's a classic Santa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yes, Batman's response to all this, of course, like, okay, this guy thinks he's Santa. Goes, okay, right, all right, Santa, let me take you back to Arkham. He thinks he's a crazy. He's going to put him in Arkham Asylum. And of course, Santa Claus, he can't be taken to Arkham. Basically Santa Claus has super speed, and he just leaves soot and ash behind. It was a really nice touch, given what we reveal about this Santa Claus, by the way.
Sure, sure.
Of course, Santa Claus says that he comes in peace. And we get the cell of Santa Claus here. He brings people their heart's desire, and he does his best. And of course, the camera to me, the angle implies that Alfred's heart's desire is for Batman to experience a Christmas and experience Christmas again. That's why Santa Claus is there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So let's see. So Santa Claus fulfilling Alfred's wishes being the implication. So Batman, he mentions that Batman needs and wants nothing. He wants nothing, and then Santa Claus reveals, well, that's fine and good, but I'm not here to give you a gift. You've done a lot of good things, don't get me wrong, but the gift I'm bringing tonight, it's you. Which when you hear that, it's gonna, oh my God, Santa Claus wants to bring me to somebody. That's weird.
Right, right.
And basically, he brings up the fact, and I thought this was so ingenious for Batman around the holidays. He brings up the fact that you disappear around Christmas and you leave behind friends you hold dear. Now, of course, Alfred is pivotal to this, I know, but of course, I love this kind of a barb against Batman with the bad exits. I mean, a part of me wishes, if we ever could have done a Commissioner Gordon version of this, if we could have,
Uh-huh.
with all the bad exits, and it would, anyways, it would have been just for me, I guess. Anyway, regardless, though, it is kind of a nice bar. Like, Batman, he never enjoys things. He's always he pulls the bad X. He never gets he probably wouldn't be able to enjoy the holidays in that sense, like all the good he does, especially around holidays.
Uh-huh.
So, let's see. So it says then Batman rebuffs this by saying that's not true. I give plenty at Christmas. I give gifts of cash, food, drink. Clothes. Basically, he donates to charities, presumably. How can you say that? How can you say I leave them behind?
Yeah.
Sorry, would you like to take over a little bit?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, and I do like the idea that, yeah, it makes sense that Bruce Wayne would be a really good gift giver, but a really shallow person around the holidays. I feel like that logic really checks out.
Yeah. Of course, Santa kind of points out, yes, you give gifts. I know that, but the spirit is what you lack. Spirits around, the spirit of the holidays is what you lack, and your gifts are not sent face to face. You've never accepted an embrace. You never accepted an
Mhm.
embrace. Like what? Sorry. Give me a second here. All right, right. So basically, Santa goes on to say, like, you're denying your friends what they want to say to you. You're denying them, basically the experience of giving you the gift, which is basically what their hearts really want to kind of communicate in the holiday, that they care. You're denying that of them.
Like, I've never seen a for my money, I don't know if I've ever seen a Christmas special where the moral is like, you got to let people in, you got to let them give you the gifts in the first place. I think there's something kind of poignant about that.
I
It's an
think there
interesting
is.
idea.
Yeah, and of course, Batman has a great line. He says, "I know all their feelings, and I know." And sorry, yeah, he knows all the feelings and he knows what's on, knows what's on their mind. The idea is like Batman can account for so many things, but he's just not quite getting the human kind of. Basically, he knows the sentiment, which means like I don't need to receive the sentiment. He doesn't need to receive the gifts. He just like he turns the gifts away. Like, guys, I get it. I don't need it because again, he just doesn't want to let Christmas in his heart at all right now. And Santa Claus, he wants Batman to put his basically to let his defenses melt, which of course is fundamentally in contrast to who Batman is as a character. Like, no, he can't let his defenses melt because the last time he let his defenses down, his parents got murdered,
Uh-huh.
which is very interesting. He views it as a sign of weakness to let them go down. And of course, then we have for me the best line of the whole thing, where Santa remarks, and basically what you're hinting at, Tiki, is that Santa remarks, "As long as I've lived, I've never had to teach. 'Tis better to receive than to give."
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the genius of this Christmas story for Batman right now. But again, Batman, how do you make a superhero? Again, he's a really generous guy. Again, he was a rich guy, he gets the chair and everything. How do you make him the Scrooge of the special? How do you do that? And well, yeah, he has to learn to receive the gift. That it's interesting. It's
Uh-huh.
rarely touched on. Let's see. So Batman, he basically says, Batman, he basically Santa Claus summarizes, okay, but you're just so filled with anger and pain and regret, you've probably about your parents, I bet. And of course, then we see the daunting portrait of the Wayne family over again. If you
It's
need a
just
perfect,
looming over the scene, Dragon.
and again, like takes him back to Phantasm, where again, it's always the portrait of the parents, man. It's always like in one of the
I
indicative
do
things of.
love how this is framed too.
That's what I'm saying. It's so it's basically it's a bigger again, but this is where we use less is more. In the
Mm.
case of the Batcave, what we have here, where again, it's basically aside from the Bat computer, we don't really have much, which kind of implies to you, the viewer, this thing can go on forever. It's like it's endless darkness, endless possibilities. There might be a giant penny and a dinosaur in there. We don't need to see it because the space is so vast, right?
Sure.
And we can play visually with things where okay, we're in a big dark space, therefore we just have like kind of a daunting, almost magical image of like the
Like
giant.
the way I see this shot right here that we're looking at
Yeah,
is it's almost like the portrait is kind of in Batman's mind's eye is looming over him.
exactly. Again, it's kind of like what Batman's thinking of, what Santa's bringing up.
Exactly.
Sure.
Right.
Exactly. And again, if Batman's always thinking about this portrait to an extent, you can go that far. Again, it's always on his mind, and basically Santa bringing up, just kind of bringing it like into the focus here. So I think with this, he reaches Batman with the deepest connect with his parents. That are bringing up that it's like yes, you haven't felt this way since then. Then he hits him with the moral here, where I know you'd tell them you love them if you could, like your friends are trying to do now. The
Oh,
past. Basically, he has this really great kind of like past, present, future analogy here, where the past begins with us, the future is unknown, and the moment is all we have to call home. That's a really great line.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if Santa exits with those, Santa makes an exit with those words. Again, there's really profound words that kind of sinks in on Batman. It leaves Batman with some food for thought, and of course we see a little bit of the corduroy blanket floor of the Batcave.
Right, right.
Again, not a problem. Just gonna
But
point
again,
that out.
quaint is the
Yes,
word here. Honestly, those little like homemade like DIY details make these specials even more entertaining to watch for me.
absolutely. All right, let's see. Okay, so after that, so Santa's gone. Alfred then, Batman then asks Alfred. So basically, it sinks in on Batman for a moment here. He's kind of left to think, and then Batman like turns to Alfred and he asks, "Did you say something about a party tonight?"
Uh-huh.
So then we basically Alfred's all happy go lucky now. He's like just like kind of narrating and like in a flash of us we were dressed and on our way with
I really do love this cut of like Alfred in his nice tux after we've seen him in the robe the whole time.
yeah, and of course Alfred's in his formal wear. He's dry. Essentially, he's driven Batman to the here.
But I love that it's not Bruce Wayne. It's like Batman is going to the party as Batman.
Yeah, and it's probably like a party with their own costume and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Like,
sure, sure.
probably take him to the Hero Bar if I were to wager a guess. Anyway, so
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
and then we have this beautiful. This ending to me is just beautiful, and this
Oh,
again,
absolutely,
it's
absolutely. It
Santa.
really got to me too.
They earned legitimacy with the Santa Claus of it all, but then they made it even more special. I thought.
Hmm.
So he says, so and of course Alfred spies Santa. They Alfred spies Santa up, kind of flying over, and Batman smiled and looked up and said, "Thanks, Clark." As in Superman, the reason he was moving so fast and everything, and then
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
Superman dressed as Santa Claus to help his friend Batman, which it touches my heart so much. I think it's so beautiful.
Okay, what I think is the most adorable thing about this is that I'm pretty sure that Bruce Wayne figured out that it was Clark pretty quickly on. I mean, he's the world's greatest detective, you know what I mean? So like it's like this is my own headcanon here,
I don't doubt it though. It sounds on the money.
but like I'm thinking like at least like within the first minute or so of this encounter, he's kind of putting it together. Like, wait a minute, not like I said, world's greatest detective, and so I just love the idea of Batman kind of like playing along with Clark. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, Clark's gone through the trouble of dressing up and putting on a fat suit, so I better hear him out.
At the very least, the minute he moved super fast, he put it together. That's what
Yeah,
I'd argue
yeah,
that a
right,
lot.
right.
Again, he could have slow as a crazy who ended up in the Batcave, but the minute he moves fast, that's okay. It's Superman.
uh
Right.
So like I said, I can't, I'm kind of struggling to put it into words, but I just think there's something like really quaint and adorable of Batman. Like, like he's the world's greatest detective. He knows what's going on. He's not dumb. He knows it's Clark, but he appreciates the moment and the message even more because it's Clark.
Exactly. And of course, the last word of the special here is Merry Christmas to all. Well, at least for tonight. Like it's the idea that to me,
That
with
is like
Christmas,
so on brand with Batman.
it is. And Tiki, at the end of the day, Christmas is to me is that it's just a day. Again, it's kind of a day of peace. It's just a day of okay. Just what we're just gonna all bask in the holiday glow, the holiday cheer. It's what Christmas is. It's the
Uh-huh.
ceasefire day. To an extent.
Sure, sure.
And
Right.
of course, then we go from like the sound of the wind to like a whistling of jingle bells, and it says "Happy Holidays" from random guy, gal, and cat. All right, yeah, that's the end. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's a this is what 2005, right?
Seven, seven.
Seven. Okay, my bad, my bad. Um, I think this is just a fantastic example of how do-it-yourself early YouTube used to be, and in spite of the aspect ratio change, Dragon, and everything like that, I think this series is a perfect example of early YouTube stuff that holds up and is still worth watching and still has like just as much good writing going for it. And honestly, the production values aren't great, but the do-it-yourself quality is charming as all hell. So I can't knock it for that even.
As I mentioned, again, it's a testament to what a good story and compelling performances can do. Where again, like that sounds like again like never would I say we're ever going to top like a Kevin Conroy Batman, but I will say again, this is indicative of kind of what Kevin Conroy did as Batman. And again, I'm saying it's like it's in line with like when it sounds like Batman. It's authentic.
Uh,
Where again, it's like it's where it overshadows the medium. Where the medium is again, the medium's quaint and maybe I don't want to say antiquated sounds like a harsh word, but it's it's a medium that, again, it's a real, like, kind of by your own bootstraps in its infancy. But again, it goes a long way. And again, I love these things. I love that we're still doing it in this style these days. With It's Just Some Random Guy. Only now, like, the aspect ratio is not screwed up. It's like, even that's the thing. I love that, it's a sweet special we have here. Again, we have these two mythic icons interacting in a believable way. Even at the end of the day, if it's not the real Santa, again, it's sold you on it being the real Santa, because I had just that quaint charm to it all, and it speaks to what Batman is as a character. And, like, it's this character that, whether you're a Bat fan or not, it's just a hero who just can't let himself enjoy the holidays because of what makes him a hero. And at the end of the day, though, it's just, what? I mean, why can't just let it go for a holiday, for an evening? Basically, it's Batman embracing the family that he found, not the one he lost. It's such a good moral, and you just letting it go for one night. It's all about, like, a lot of people have crappy stories around the holidays. They do. A lot of people have, like, sad stories that, like, bad stuff happens to you during the year, and maybe around Christmas things aren't going great for you. Or in general, maybe, like, you've lost a loved one. Perhaps, like, a lot of people can have tragedies around the holidays. Or just have tragic lives that are not made better around the holidays. And you know what?
Right.
Again, the Christmas gives you an excuse to, again, live in the moment that, well, you're still here. You're still here, and there might be something. There might be a silver lining, at least around Christmas, a silver-belled lining, if you will. That's kind of what this gets to the heart of. It's really nice. Okay, let's reflect over some tropes. Like, what do we got in this?
Right, there's not much, but obviously Batman's our Scrooge.
Of course, we have Santa Claus.
Sure, we have the idea of, like, a character, like, posing as Santa Claus to get across a moral. I'm sure we've seen that before.
We have "Twas the Night." "Twas the Night Before Christmas" is our framing device.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Let's see. We have kind of our side character who wants the main character to embrace the holidays.
Oh, definitely, for sure. The Christmas party, big one.
Family around the holidays, both in the the Wayne family as well as kind of the new Bat family.
A fight with Santa.
Old friend around the holidays, or the Fred character, if you want to go with the Scrooge of it all.
Sure.
Let's see. We whistle Jingle Bells at the end.
Yeah, got to get that in there. Sure.
If it's not fog at the start, it might be snow. So
tragedy around the holidays.
Yes. We mentioned Christmas gifts, like, clothes and gifts of donations, cash, clothes, etc.
The idea that gifts are, like, more of the material part of the holidays and not the true meaning of the holidays.
Yes, Rudolph.
Yeah, right.
I think that. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Oh, the whole, like, Christmas past, present, future, a little bit alluded to in the lines there about, like, living in the past.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. That is a good pool for sure.
And of course, too, the adage of, "'tis better to receive than to give," which is really invented. Basically, inventiveness with the old philosophies of the holidays overall. I think would be kind of the last one to really kind of stack up.
Sure.
All right. Well, you know what, Tiki? It's such a gem that we found here. It really is. And you know what? I love that. Such a gem that we found here, and I just wish that we could, kind of nail down a name for this process where we just find something and we talk about it, and we just kind of go over the holiday trips, because we can't get enough of Christmas, and we just want to kind of nail it down to a science. We just want to analyze the core elements of what makes something good. Whether it be a big holiday epic, or like a Ron Howard like holiday epic, or just something small. Just something small and quaint. Like, oh, look what we found here. It's Christmas. It's not too boastful about itself. It's kind of humbled by the bootstraps. Let's if we can only nail down, like, a name for this process, man. I'm just it's just, we got to do right by the Batman. We got to do right by the Batman. We got to come up with a name, like, as Batman would analyze a substance. If only we could do the same, man. I'm at wit's end. Do you have any ideas whatsoever?
Wait, did you say analyze?
Yeah, analyze. If we could do.
Okay, you know how people analyze things?
Yeah.
They put it under a microscope.
Yes, I like where this is going. If we need a totem of the holidays, right?
All right.
Something.
Well, what about? Do you remember that Jack Skellington image that I totally forgot to put at the start of this video?
Funny, all that typing, you didn't find it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that Jack Skellington puts mistletoe underneath the microscope, Dragon. What about that? We're putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope.
I like it.
All right. Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
La la la
la
la
la
la
la
la
la.
la la.
Because I'm saying.